Disclaimer, there is absolutely nothing wrong with wearing any of the clothing items in this video. However, year over year, trends go in style and they go out of style. And it seems these days that everything is trending all at once, and it can be sometimes hard to keep up. Part of the reason is because of social media apps like Instagram and TikTok. You see one thing pop up, and by the end of the day, the way the algorithm works, it's been served in front of you 100 times and you're kind of over the trend. So things are moving super quickly. However, in this video, we are going to be going over a ton of different stuff that I think has just been oversaturated this year. And then that is the common key with a lot of trends that go out of style. It's just the fact that you see it all the time. So let's start off with some sneaker trends. Number one is the New Balance 550. In my opinion, the New Balance 550 has served its time. I'm still going to be wearing them. I enjoy wearing them. However, that feeling of getting a new shoe, hopping on a trend, getting on there early, and that feeling of confidence that you wear when you put the shoes on your feet, someone gives you a compliment, you post a little fit pic on the gram, that's kind of over with the 550s, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when we look at the trend arc of the New Balance 550s, they kind of came out of nowhere, and they were made popular by the New York-based brand Aimé Leon Dore. But then I think New Balance figured out that they have a hit right here, and they started pumping out a bunch of GR colorways. They even had a couple bad collaborations that we saw this year with Comme des Garçons, with that super basic generic collaboration shoe. Is just white and black. You might as well just grab the GR version. And adjacent to that is, of course, the Nike Dunk. Now, I probably could have said this last year, but the same applies with the Nike Dunk. They've served their time. They kind of emerged out of nowhere. They have some great first colorways. Nike figured out they have a hit. They had great collaborations, and then they started just pumping out week over week some really bad colorways that sort of have flooded the market. Oversaturated, if you will. And now you can go into stores, you can find Nike Dunk sitting, you can find New Balance 550 sitting. So I think what kills these trends is just the oversaturation and the flood of the market of generic colorways. Now, a great replacement for these shoes that I've mentioned is the Adidas Samba. Now, I know they've been around for a few years now, so don't roll your eyes too hard. However, I feel like Adidas really has figured out that they have something on their hands here with the colorways and the collaborations that they've been putting out. When we think of the aesthetic that is popular nowadays, with Sporty and Rich collaboration, the Mexico colorway that they have coming out, and now they're working with Jound on some new colorways as well. So it also seems what can boost a trend are the right collaborations and the right colorways. Now, of course, a great alternative to that is the Adidas Gazelle. Once again, the Gucci collaborations that they have, I've mentioned them ad nauseum on this channel, are really good. However, you can get some very basic, simple color palettes with them as well. New Balance, of course, is a great brand with a number of great colorways. The New Balance 2002R or any of the Made in USA New Balances will do. However, if you demand that you stick with Nike, the Nike Craft General Purpose shoe, once again, very simple silhouette with some cool colorways, and they're not going for too much right now. They just restocked on the original colorway, and the yellow ones I grabbed personally for resale for like $200. Now, another trend that I think has seriously died this year, which is very sad, are Yeezys. Now, unlike the other trends that I mentioned, this one is a very unique scenario where the designer and the spearhead of this whole Yeezy brand has come out and said some pretty crazy, nasty things about a group of people and made very anti-Semitic comments. And this is something that's sort of new, where we see people literally getting canceled, and therefore all of their creations are sort of in some ways looked down upon. Now, I'm not a fan of cancel culture at all, but what's weird is he's leaning even harder into these statements that he's making. So much so that Adidas had to drop him, of course. And so I think it's time to just give Yeezys a bit of a break. But there are some great alternatives that you should wear instead of Yeezys. Now, if you think of the aesthetic of Yeezys, they of course had a lot of pastel colorways, but they kind of had this sort of retro futuristic type of design. And there's a number of great brands that you can wear instead. One that jumps out to mind is the Salomon Pro Advance. This is a really clean colorway, and they are also putting out some pastels, the browns, the beiges. Another one is a new one that I just came across, which is the Hoka Project Clifton. This is a very retro, futuristic type of design with the zipper shroud and just something that I think is really clean from the brand Hoka. Another one is the New Balance 9060. Once again, comes in those suede materials, pastel colors, but has this like chunky silhouette that I think is really clean. And because it's fall and winter, some great alternatives to Yeezy boots could be lots of offerings from Suey Coke. There's also hiking boots, which I'm a huge fan of, and you can still wear these in a streetwear way and get a good fit off. And lastly, a good alternative would be the Timberland field boots. I just came across these and I'm ready to add to cart. Another popular jacket style that we've seen many a time over the past few years is the Carhartt Detroit jacket. Now, for many people, this has been the go-to jacket, and maybe you thrifted it for the low, but when you put it on, it's just that sense of confidence that you get when you get a fit. A very popular jacket that we've seen all over Instagram. This one, it served its time, but this trend single-handedly has introduced a lot of people to the workwear genre, including myself. So despite the fact that I may not wear a Carhartt Duck Detroit jacket anytime soon, what I will say is that it has opened my eyes to a number of great workwear brands, Japanese Americana, and instead of wearing this jacket, what I would say to you, get the classics instead. You know, invest in a good denim jacket, and it doesn't have to be Levi's. You can get something that's really premium, like Capital, for example. Another one is a good chore jacket. For example, Stussy makes a ton of great chore jackets I absolutely love. Now, similar to this sort of whole Yeezy brand, maybe just taking a bit of a backseat right now, I think another brand that I'm not really into and haven't really impressed me at all recently is the brand Bape. And when we think of the way fashion is trending and sort of that minimalist design, the big Bape logos, the shark hoodies, like they're still sort of pumping up those same designs that I guess got them to the ball in the first place, but I just haven't seen a ton of innovation. What brands I would recommend instead of wearing Bape that are still in that streetwear element are brands Palace. When I think of their collaborations with Arc'teryx, you know, and engineered garments, it seems as if they're really innovating and aligning themselves with key brands that are sort of going to push themselves forward and create some new and unique designs. Even some of their mainline stuff that they came out with, that blokecore kind of fashion with the soccer jerseys, is just super, super, super clean. Another great alternative is Stussy. This jacket is Stussy, part of their spring-summer collection. They're like the #1 brand, in my opinion, from a streetwear perspective, that I think everybody can agree upon is just having a great moment right now. And, you know, when we think about their fleece jackets that they put out that are sort of buzzing everywhere with the 8-ball print on the back, and just, I feel like Stussy as a brand is just, like I said, had a great year, and I would definitely go with those two brands over Bape. Now, something that's similar in that workwear style is, of course, the Carhartt double knee pants. Now, I'm not going to say that those are out of style, okay? Because I do wear them and I do like them. And like I said, I think workwear is a really great subgenre. But what I am saying is out of style are those like 3-in-1 pants that people wear that these fast fashion brands make that are just... It's like a Frankenstein pair of pants where it's like a cargo, it's a double knee, and it's a flare pant all at the same time. So cargos aren't dead. I don't think cargos are a staple now in everybody's wardrobe. Double knees aren't dead. And flare pants. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with wearing either 3 of those pants. But when you get these like Frankenstein concoctions of these pants, I feel like it's just very tacky. And yeah, it's just not for me. Now, over the course of the past few years, mainly as a response to everybody staying at home during COVID, we saw this big resurgence in Crocs, where Crocs started blowing up. Now, I'm a big fan of the Salehi Bembury Crocs, but I think the general, you know, standard Crocs, I mean, unless you're wearing them around the house, I would never personally wear them out in public. That's just me, especially at the gym. I don't understand why people wear Crocs at the gym. It kind of boggles my mind. What I think you should wear instead, which is way more fashion forward and stylish, are mules, which include the Birkenstock Bostons. These, of course, come in a number of very wearable lifestyle colors, whether you want vegan leather or normal suede. You really can't go wrong. I wore these a ton over the past year and a half or so, and honestly, I know they're trendy, sort of like the Adidas Sambas, but they're worth every penny. However, if you're all about being cozy, trust me, I have another alternative for you, and that is the UGG Tasman. I promise you, you're going to see these a lot next year, especially on social media. Yes, guys can wear UGGs too, and I'm actually going to be grabbing the black pair as soon as they come around in my size. So if you want to just wear that house slipper kind of feel, but still like go run some errands or get a fit off, trust me, UGG Tasman. Now, if you would like to learn more about streetwear essential clothing to wear this season, click this video right here. Or if you want to learn about my favorite picks for the best fall sneakers, these are the shoes that you should be buying, click this video right here. So why don't we click on one of those, and I'll meet you guys there.